Anti-police sentiment among the public. Those were the challenges faced by Oklahoma County Sheriff Tommie Johnson when he took office 2 years ago. He joins us in studio today to talk about the accomplishments he's made and shares a personal story about his toughest day on the job. I'm Andrew Spino on special assignment with Project 46. Joining us in studio, Oklahoma County Sheriff Tommie Johnson III. Thank you so much for coming in. You've now been sheriff in Oklahoma County for 2 years.
Yes,
you haven't been into Project 46 before, so welcome. We appreciate you coming in. So let's start way back to 2 years ago. You entered office in January 2021.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what the last 2 years have been like.
When you say truly remarkable, now I work hard, and that's a quality I've always had. I said, I'm always going to work hard. I'm always going to try to be the most prepared person in every room I walk in. But even with that, I don't think I thought this agency would have this much success this early on. And so it's truly a blessing by God to be a part of this, to serve in this capacity, to serve this agency in the community.
So when you say successes, tell us what those successes have been.
I ran on 4 tenets: safer communities, fiscal responsibility and transparency, progress, and positive partnerships within the agency and within the community as well. So 4 tenets that I thought would lead to true success. And everything was backed by facts and data. There was no generalities that were thrown out. And I like to tell people that I'm a meaningful specific. And I really mean that. I'm very specific and concentrated on what I wanted to do.
Well, I'll tell you, let's take an example of that, because I had the honor of working on your campaign 2 years ago, and one of the things, things on your platform that you talked about quite a bit was body cams.
Yes, sir.
And so I remember several times you gave speeches where you said, this is how much it would cost to get body cams. This is how many we need. I guess what I'm asking is, was the number we had come up with 2 years ago, did that pan out in reality? Because your opponent was saying you were underestimating.
Was saying I was underestimating, and I will give a shot at my current PIO, Aaron Brilbeck, who also, when we were doing the debate,
we're going to edit that out.
Said,
I'm kidding. No compliments for Brilbeck here.
When he said that number wasn't right as well, the figure was always for, we had to start somewhere. And I knew what we need to start with at first is our patrol function, the group of people who deal with this element on a daily basis. In and out, they're dealing with law enforcement and just that criminal component that goes into it. So I wanted to outfit them with this first, understanding the budget and where we were currently as an agency. And the numbers were comparative. And like I said, going back to Brilbeck, why I bring him up is because he even challenged that figure too. And then once we got into office, and obviously he came along, he got to see everything as it progressed, and he saw the number. He said, man, I won't tell anybody that you were right, so I'll deny it.
You have to take the credit yourself. I think it was like 120,000 startup and like 65,000 a year. I can't remember.
Yes. And what we ended up doing was getting about 50, 55, 60 to start with, to get our patrol function covered. And that way we have our investigators, we have patrol, we have our warrant squad who all wear these cameras to capture these moments.
And what is the benefit to the officer and to the public of having these?
Transparency that the public not only ask for, but that they deserve. I believe the body cameras hold everyone accountable. It's not just holds the agency accountable, holds the citizenry accountable too, because there's been several instances where we get complaints on what officers have done. And the first thing I say is, go check the body cam, see if what the citizen complaint, see if it's accurate.
Does it match? Yeah.
Does it match the complaint? And so it comes in, and then when you tell the person on the other side of the phone, well, I've reviewed the body cam. I don't believe it went that way. If you'd like to come in, we can discuss it. Oh, well, no, we don't want to do that.
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good.
And then on the other end, I can hold deputies accountable if they do something wrong. But our agency, we pride ourselves on our professionalism and how we treat our community. So we've done a really good job.
Right. And you said one of the pretext for getting these body cams is transparency and accountability, but that's also something you took into the financial workings of the office.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, financially speaking, I guess budget-wise and what was happening inside the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office, tell us what you came into and how it's different today.
When I first came in, you saw that money was kind of not used everywhere, but money came in a little bit everywhere. So we had to centralize money, everything. I don't care judicial, I don't care any other place. It goes through finance so that proper records, proper accountability can be had. But also, the financial portion was an Achilles heel of the sheriff's office for quite some time. And people just want to know, where are our general fund dollars going? I think that's a fair question to ask. And I think it's appropriate for us to display, this isn't our dollars. This is what you entrust in us, and we need to show you what it goes to. And so what we did is we create a video monthly that we publish and put on our social media platforms that breaks the general fund budget down to the penny, letting you know where each and every dollar is going. And that has been received very well. I can tell you, when we first started, you would see, citizenry really corresponding with us well, giving ideas, giving thoughts, asking questions about some things. And now they're so used to just seeing it. It's just, there's no questions. It's just, I appreciate you putting this up. And
Okay. And so was the previous system kind of catch as catch can, or chaotic, or was it lack order? What?
I believe lack order is fair. I just think better procedurally it is right now. There's a rhyme or a reason to why we do what we do. It's not just, hey, I'm doing my job, but I don't know how your job feeds into my job. I think the one thing that we've done well is understand or teaching everyone how the workflow goes, because we all support each other in this agency. And I think that can get lost at times in an agency as large as ours is. I mean, you can say, well, I'm doing my job, but I don't know what it goes to next. I don't know how that supports you next or what it does over here.
And how large is your agency? How many
So we
employees?
about 225, 230 employees. I have 165 sworn commissioned deputies.
It's a lot of people to manage.
There's a lot of people to manage, and we are a full-scale agency. So we have everything from investigations, patrol. We have a judicial portion that is really unique to only the sheriff's office. Municipalities don't do any of these functions because our deputies are extensions of the courts. So we facilitate all the paperwork, the lockouts, the VPOs, the civil process that has to be passed out to the citizenry. We do all of that. So we are truly all around Oklahoma County doing a function. In our patrol, I have really said, let's focus on the areas that we are solely, in charge of as far as our unincorporated areas. And so we patrol those and we provide a great service to them. We have SROs in school, community services. We have a triad division, which helps out with our elderly community, teaches and warns them about whether it's a new scam that's coming or even the latest, showing them how to use Narcan. And
Okay.
I mean, it's just, our agency is a full-scale agency and we do everything.
What has been the biggest challenge you faced since becoming sheriff?
I think nobody prepares you for the loss of your own employee. Our agency, if you've been around me any length of time, I love hard, and I love the guys and gals that I serve. I'm involved in their lives, their family lives. It's normal that I write to their kids or birthdays, or if they make great accomplishments or go to the military. I've done it several times. And you just become a family naturally when you do that. And you get close in a way you can't explain. And when you lose an employee, that's as many things that I've been introduced to, as many situations I've been put in law enforcement. There's nothing can prepare you for that. And it hurts in a different way. And I think my time in office, that's definitely been the single most hardest thing I've ever had to deal with.
And you did have to deal with that
Yes.
directly. Tell us about that incident.
Bobby Swartz, Deputy Bobby Swartz, Mark Johns, and Melody Norton were serving eviction papers. And Melody was up front, and Bobby and Mark were in the back, and the guy started firing at the guys in the back, Bobby and Mark, and fatally wounding Bobby. And fled the scene by his truck, and then we called him out at Tinker Air Force Base. It's just a terrible situation. It's always hard to talk about.
Of course, yeah. There are no winners
No.
in a situation like this. But how, as the leader, even though obviously it wasn't your fault, but how much does that weigh on?
Well, one, you have to stay together because you got to hold it all together.
Right.
You have agency members who are directly impacted. This agency, I have deputies that have worked there 40 plus years. It's a very high tenured agency. People have been around each other for a long time, worked with each other a long time, all started at jail, then moved to the law enforcement side. So they've been around each other forever. And when you lose someone you're that close to, who you've known that long, and then the paperwork that comes in, the reporting that comes in, having to, once again, let the community know what happened, notifying a family, the worst part.
I can imagine.
Notifying a family what happened. It's just an all-around situation that I don't think I was ever prepared for. But once again, I had great people around me helping me through it. And so very thankful for that, because, you got to keep it together. Law enforcement is just one of the professions where the job, regardless of what happens, it still has to go on. And as a leader, you still got to go because they have to get their strength from somewhere. And it had to be from me.
I know a lot of law enforcement agencies around the country are having problems with recruitment and retention. How's your staffing?
Our staffing as well. I will say every position that we put out, we're able to fill. It's really a blessing. I think people are proud to work for the sheriff's office and what the sheriff means. And this is why this job means so much to me. And what I tell people, it's not about me, it's about the office and what the sheriff represents. And, but like everyone else, and what we're trying to do now is the county's growing. And so once again, coming up with or working with people to come up with scientific data that can support how our agency has to grow. Because I can go in front of the budget board, in front of our county commissioners and say, hey, I need more people in this area, but I want it to be an unbiased group come in and be able to say, hey, we have broken down the data, mathematically solved this and figured it out, and due to the growth of the county and the growth of these cities within the county, they need to grow in this area by this much, in this area by this much. And so that's the future of the sheriff's office, at least for me, is showing where we have to grow to be able to continue to support our community.
Well, when you ran for sheriff, obviously you weren't new to law enforcement, but you were kind of new to politics.
Yes.
So what has surprised you the most in the 2 years?
I'll tell you, the one thing that surprised me the most is you have to be good at both. You have to understand law enforcement because you got to be able to lead the operation every day.
Right.
And you have to know what they're
That's
dealing
your
with.
primary job.
Yes, that's the primary. Unlike any other political office, you are at work each and every day dealing with things that happen on the day-to-day in your community. But the success comes from the political relationships, the political partnerships, having positive working relationships with people. And you have to be very good and successful at that. And so where I didn't know anything politically when I came in, I have really worked and found mentors that have coached me along the way, because the success comes from the success on the political side. And I think you have to have both to be truly a successful office.
How's the relationship between deputies and the community? There are times over the years, not when you were in office, but in previous administrations, where it was strained. How is that relationship going?
I think that's a fair question. And I think it's because, leadership matters. I believe that more now than ever. The agency reflects the leader. And I'm a very community-minded person. I put my all into this job. I mean, even my wife gets on to me at the house about how much time is dedicated to this, but it's because I care so much. And, when you're elected, your community puts you in office for you to be present and you to be there. And how you treat them is very important. How you engage with them on a day-to-day is very important. And that flows throughout the agency. And so our agency and our community buy-in, our community relationships, from patrol, from warrants to our community services, I mean, it's all very positive. I feel,
So you're enjoying the job.
sir, I love the job.
Okay, well, why? I mean, what motivates you to strap on the vest and the everything and get out there each day?
I was a great street cop. I really was. And I'm humble when I say that, but I feel like I'm a much better sheriff. And the reason being is because I think it lends to my strong suits. I know it's not about me. My job is to advocate for the office, to advocate for the citizenry that I serve, and to make sure that they both succeed. And that's easy for me to do. I love to fight for this agency and get them what they deserve, whether it's the pay, whether it's equipment, whether it's personnel. I love fighting for the citizenry, saying, hey, we want more visibility here. Can you explain this to us? How does this work? Because we don't understand. I think the advocating, the lobbying portion of it is just my strong suit, and I care so much. I just think it's something that it's the best job I've ever had. I literally wake up every morning excited to go to work. And everyone says, when you get in office, oh, you're going to feel it. Man, that sheriff's office, I don't know how you do that. And I think, how do I not do that? I don't know what else I would do. So it's been great.
I think, like a lot of people, I did love to hear about your future plans. So I will ask you about that just as soon as we come back from this break. Oklahoma County Sheriff Tommie Johnson in studio. We'll be right back. Well, thank you for joining us. If you'd like to see the rest of this interview, download the Project 46 app or go to newsok46.com. Be sure to subscribe and you will get access to exclusive content here on Project 46, Oklahoma's fastest growing conservative media.